Welcome to the Smart Fit. Today we're making pulled pork, an extremely versatile piece of meat, tasty and always a crowd pleaser. What's best is that it's simple, relatively hands-off to make, and you have to make a lot at once. Use this to make pulled pork sandwiches, to Mexican carnitas style tostadas, or even a chipotle style rice bowl. Having protein ready to go in your fridge makes it easier to stay on track. Let's make this. You need one big old piece of pork shoulder, pork butt, head of pork loin, or whatever it's called in your region. Regardless of the name, this piece weighs about 6.94 pounds, pretty much 7 pounds. We unpackaged, rinsed, and patted dry our meat. As you can see, you've got a bunch of different tissues packed in one, and makes this special and people happy. Make sure to pat dry before the next step. For example, the obvious is the layers of fat distributed throughout the pork shoulder, but also notable are the different muscle fibers and the direction of orientation. The varying muscle fiber lengths and unequally distributed fat content actually make this perfect, as it results in different textures, flavors, levels of doneness, and juiciness with every bite, although every bite is perfect. Give it a shake and liberally massage your butt. By adding this layer, we add a whiff of smokiness and also give the seasoning something on which to bind. Flip that ass over and keep rubbing. Next, we liberally season with salt. Important notes: when dry brining and seasoning, we follow the high and dry recommendation. Season from high above with dry hands to ensure a uniform layer across the surface area of the meat. Next, and controversially, we add a smidge of MSG because umami is king. Finally, for simplicity purposes, we generously sprinkle it with black pepper. Do we recommend fresh black pepper? Yes, of course, but it's so much easier sometimes to just use the pre-ground stuff. Oddly enough, when we cook for others, we go all out, but when it comes to our home-cooked meals, we're quick and easy about it. Kenji Lopez said something like a light snow flurry, so whether it reminds you of Boston or Chicago snowfall, it should be pretty uniform. It's not a lot of salt, and this will be the only time you season it. Flip and repeat, high and dry, salt, MSG, and black pepper. You can cook this right away, but I'd recommend letting this sit in the fridge for anywhere between 4 to 24 hours before cooking, so the seasoning does as much work as possible. For this video, we just seasoned and put it in the oven. Turn on the oven with the top and bottom burners, plus the convection setting on too. Preheat the oven to 250 F or 120 C. Set the timer for 4 hours. 4 hours? Yeah, shut up. With the rack in the middle setting, place pork in the oven when it has come to temperature. Look, we said it was simple and hands-off, and we never said quick. After about 3.5 hours, we took it out of the oven and it looks good already, but it is far from done. In order to convert this into a tender and easily shreddable work of art we all know and love, we have to wrap it up. 3 layers of aluminum foil, with the final one being the most important to prevent the juices from dripping out from the bottom. Can't wait to open this later. So fold the last layer upward, allowing the juices to collect at the bottom. Wrapping and placing this pork shoulder in the oven again allows it to cook in its own juices and retain moisture. We highly recommend using an instant read thermometer, but forgot this time. However, this recipe is so simple you don't need it. It simply cooks for another 3 to 4 hours. Now, after waiting another 30 minutes to let the meat cool and juices reabsorb, we can finally unwrap the presents and begin to shred. Now, the internal temperature of safe, cooked, and ready to eat pork is 145 degrees F or 63 C. So why would we allow this to reach such a high temperature? If you remember the original pork butt from the beginning, we talked about the meat, fat, and connective tissue layered throughout. The meat is safe to eat at a certain temperature, but the connective tissue doesn't begin to break down until about 160 F or 71 C, and continues to do so as the temperature rises. Allowing the temperature to slowly increase over time allows for that ability to make pulled pork, well, pullable. Without reaching these temperatures, although safe to eat, it would be inseparable and perhaps sliceable. The gelatin and fat rendered give that sticky and palatable texture we love. You can clean this up as much or as little as you like. Personally, I don't like the soft and fatty texture, so I clean much of that and put it aside. But don't worry, I don't throw it all away either. Honestly and oddly enough, this is very therapeutic in a way to take something apart, but I don't understand what this feeling is creating within me. Why is that? Can someone tell me? Of course, when you are the cook and doing all the work, you can save the best pieces for yourself or secretly share them with your closest loved one. For example, this little nugget right here is all mine. In an instant, memories of all the different recipes you can make with this meat flood the mind, in addition to all the great memories and people with whom you've shared this with. Food is beyond its caloric and macronutrient breakdown. Remember that. We're super busy and it's frustrating when you're hungry and have nothing ready to eat at home. For us, it is imperative to have ready to eat protein in the fridge to stay on track with our diets, save money and time. So it took hours to cook this, but while it was in the oven, we were busy working on so many other things, and for the next few days, we now have food ready to go. It's called multitasking. Now that the meat is clean and pulled, what about the leftover fat we removed? Yeah, that stuff. I said we don't like the soft texture of fat, but we sure do like the crispiness it can give. So we place it all in a small cast iron pan on medium-low heat to render and crisp up. Obviously, this is optional because you could easily throw it away, but I don't like throwing much away, and the best homemade recipes reuse and repurpose everything possible. Once the bottom side looks like this, it's ready to flip. That's one hell of a pancake. If you know what chicharrones, cortezas, or even pork grinds are, you know what this smell and tastes like. After a few minutes more, it's done frying and rendering. Just listen to this crispy, crispy crust. Slice, chop, and add back to the pulled pork for an additional layer of texture and flavor. Let's get into some quick recipes to put together during the week, starting with an American classic pulled pork sandwich. It only takes 3 ingredients: bun, meat, and sauce. Toast the dry bun. You could use mayo or butter before toasting, but the toasted flavor achieved with the dry bun is good enough whether it's perfect or not. Add the pulled pork and top with the barbecue sauce of your choice. We've made barbecue sauce in the past, but for today's simplified process, we went with squeeze bottle ready. What's your go-to barbecue sauce? Barbecue sauce! Put the top bun on, pick up the sandwich and eat. Actually, let's clear this up. Pick it up and rotate it to eat it top up, bottom side down. You don't just pick up the sandwich and then put it in your mouth, or else you just messed up the construction of the sandwich. Pick it up, orient it so the top is top and the bottom is bottom before enjoying, please. Have you seen someone eat their burgers or sandwiches like this before? Are you one of those? Leave your comment below and enlighten the world as to why you flip the sandwich before eating. Finally, I can enjoy it. Simple, nostalgic, tasty, comforting, and quick. Yeah, damn good. Oh, I could smash this. Next, pulled pork tostada. A tostada is a whole crispy tortilla. Think of a giant round tortilla chip, on which you could add anything you want. I'm going to slice an avocado lengthwise along the pit, rotating the avocado along the edge of the knife. The twist reveals a relatively good-looking avocado. Cupping the avocado in one hand while gently slicing the avocado with the knife using minimum pressure. It's like cutting through butter, so be gentle. To the base, start with a spread to which the rest of the ingredients will stick. In this case, we have homemade low-fat Greek yogurt, which substitutes sour cream, delivering the creamy and tangy flavor with significantly less calories. Next, layer on your meat of choice. Obviously, in this case, our simply seasoned yet versatile pulled pork. Go ahead and fan out a few slices of avocado for the green, white, and red completion of the Mexican flag, and add a few drops of Tapatio hot sauce. If you wanted, pico de gallo would work here, but we just don't eat raw tomatoes like that. And just like that, we were from barbecue to south of the border. In the United States, of course. Okay, so I'm laughing because this is going to make a mess of my mustache. Damn, not too bad. Big bite, tostada didn't break, and my mustache was relatively unscathed. The tostada is crispy, not greasy and strong. I hate when tostadas are weak and break upon the first bite. Slight creamy and tangy flavor from the base yogurt. Pulled pork delicious. Avocado seasoned well with that slight spice and salt from the tapatio, making every bite balanced, fun, and bright. Finally, if you're looking for something more satiating, go with the pulled pork bowl. Use whatever you have at home, but in this case, this is what we've got laying around. Mexican-style rice, baby gem lettuce, avocado, cilantro, homemade Greek yogurt, canned corn, pinto beans, and of course, pulled pork. Uy, qué ganas de comer. It's as simple as pouring the rice from one clean bowl to another clean bowl for no reason other than presentation of this video. Next, add the lettuce, the beans. Today we went with canned beans. The corn, a little pulled pork, and finally some fanned out, pretty avocado. Add a dollop of our sour cream substitute in the center, tear apart some cilantro, sprinkle on top, roll out a little lime to get it loose so it squirts more juice. Even limes need a little foreplay. Splish splash. Finally, we aren't keen on raw tomatoes, so for the red in the Mexican dish, we're back with the tapatio sauce. But use whatever you like. Speaking of hot sauces, what hot sauce do you like? We're hotheads and always looking for new bottles to add to our collection. You know how good this is, and I'm sure some of you are halfway out the door on your way to the nearest Mexican restaurant, Taco Bell or Chipotle, but try making this for yourself and you can eat Mexican food all week for much less. Which one do you like the most? What other pulled pork recipes do you like? Share them in the comments below. Dream it, learn it, do it. Yeah. Oh, and yes, I did know that it was not Tapatio, it was Valentina. Bye.